Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you want to record me talking about shut the
I gotta record you for my safety.
Yeah, go ahead. This the first thing.
You ain't finna burn it. Now get your phone. Come here, close it first.
Baby, the first time.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like this.
Nah. Go with your move, crazy girl. You started your...
I ain't never addressed nothing before. How I've been living here for the past 3 months at his house, at his penthouse, back and forth, here and there, since my baby was born. And then all of a sudden, I cook tonight. He want to come to the crib. I am sleeping in his bed, talking about, you need to go. You mean I need to go to a 5-star hotel, do it. Ain't nobody leaving. And of course, it escalated. I want to put up a statement talking about, oh, it saddens me that I have a queen to raise you. You ain't even been here this whole time that I've had this child. Nothing but genuine, pure love for this man. Out of nowhere, bro. Out of nowhere. It don't matter how much you love somebody. If it ain't right, it's never gonna be right.
And Shout is not my girl. Ain't never been my girl. Is my side.
It's your what?
My side. Shout is a certified side. Lot
Embarrassing me like that.
Shout is a certified side. Just trying to act like she ain't. No, let's take it there. Parents know she my side. Everybody knows she's a side. She don't want y'all to know she's a side. She got to save her face. She got to crash all the way out. That's
3
cool.
years ago,
Post
and I'm
it.
not your girl.
Post
Masterpiece. What the would you have me in a video? Okay, whatever. Whatever, bro. Why would you have me around your family? Whatever, bro. Why would you have me in your house?
You got in the bed, lay in it, and deal with what come with it.
Woo! That behavior, it was disgusting. It was disgusting to see. Hey y'all, it's Verda. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the tribe. If you're returning to Fiercely V, welcome back. So happy to have you. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. I debated whether or not I was even gonna do it because honestly, I had so much fun doing the last video I posted, which was a Harder They Fall review. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's long as hell, but I'm giving you a history lesson. I'm giving you full overview of the film. I'm giving you ratings. Like, it's so much in that video and it's fun. You're gonna like it. Trust me, go watch it. Put it on while you're working from home in the background, listen to it, whatever. It's good. Trust me, it's long, but you'll enjoy it. But I had so much fun doing that video. And so then when I was like thinking, when I was watching this situation play out on social media, and I was like, ooh, I kind of have something I want to say about it. And I was like, you know, social commentary videos can be so tricky because sometimes the topics can just be so heavy. And it's like, I had fun doing the movie review. These conversations are not fun, but alas, they must be had. So, I just wanted to give my thoughts on the Danileigh and DaBaby situation. There's a lot going on with the whole situation. If you've been on social media, you'd have seen some stuff. I think the whole situation is sad. I think that Danileigh, she really played herself. I think that she fell for the okie doke that a lot of black men give to women like her. And when I say women like her, I mean women who are preferences, women who are light-skinned, biracial, multiracial, racially ambiguous. Men in our culture tend to put those women on a pedestal and make them believe that they are inherently more valuable than black women. And because they do that, a lot of these women take that to heart. And they think that because I'm more valuable to this man than black women, I'm going to get different treatment from this man than the treatment that he has given black women. And I think that Danileigh looked at the way this man had engaged with the other mothers of his children who are black women. And I think that she believed that she would receive something different because she's a yellow bone and that's what he wants.
Yellow bone, that's what he wants. What he wants. Yellow bone, that's what he wants.
And I think that she was sadly mistaken. And these are the consequences of her making that decision. I do have a level of sympathy for her because I think that no one should have to go through that type of public embarrassment, and especially not while you're literally holding your child, feeding your child, and getting degraded and berated for the world to see. I just think that's I'm gonna sympathize with anybody that's having to deal with that. It was hard to watch that video where he was just, it was hard to watch. Like, I just can't believe that you could give a man a child and 3 months later he could treat you that way. So that was hard to watch, and I have sympathy for her for sure. But again, I think that she bought into the lie. She fell for the okie doke, and not only that, but she tried to position herself above the other mothers of his children because of her skin tone and because she knew she was a preference, and she felt like that gave her something more, that gave her something over them. And I think that, you know, when you put yourself up there, you gotta fall further down when you fall. And I think that's what's happening to her right now. And I don't want to use the term she got what she deserved or anything like that, because I don't think anybody deserves this. What I hope is that she learned a lesson from this, and I hope that she does better in the future. But child, honestly, who knows? We've seen situations similar to this where women just go back to these men. So do what you do. But I do have sympathy for her, because I think watching her on that live video feeding her 3-month-old child while being degraded and demeaned on live video for his thousands of fans, I don't know how many followers he has, maybe millions of followers and fans. Like, it's very hard to not feel sympathy for somebody dealing with that. The thought that you could give birth to a man's child and 3 months later he could treat you like that, it's tragic. But that leads me to what I want to talk about in this conversation. I could spend this conversation just spelling out the drama that ensued between those two, but I don't want to do that. I think that this situation specifically, I think it stems from a bigger issue, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about our culture as a whole not giving the process of giving a man a child the respect that it deserves. In the Black community, the way that we treat women who bring forth children for men, it's beyond egregious. Baby mama culture, the way that we demean women who become pregnant, but not the men who impregnate them, is disgusting. The way that we accuse women of trapping a man who voluntarily ejaculated into them is disgusting. And I think even more so, the way we discard women simply because they have given birth to children is disgusting. And I think all of that is related, and all of it ties into this concept that we do not place an appropriate level of value on the act of giving a man a child. Having a child for a man, that is something that is immeasurable. To give a man an heir, to give him legacy, to give him continuation of his bloodline, that is something that cannot even be measured. There is nothing a man can give a woman that is the equivalent of a woman giving him a child. There is no amount of money, there's no amount of stuff that he can buy for her, there is nothing that he can give to her that is going to match the magnitude of her giving him human life, bringing forth a piece of him in human form. There's nothing he could possibly give her that is of that same level of value. So my question, why are we giving these men babies with no stipulations attached, with no requirement, we just giving them babies? We just having babies for these men. And because we are not placing enough value on just the magnitude of what we are giving them when we have their child, because we don't value it enough, because we just do it willy-nilly, they don't value it. And because they don't value it, they can just discard us afterwards, or get on live and demean and disrespect and degrade us for the world to see while we're 3 months postpartum feeding their child. They can say that we are no longer worthy of love or relationships or being wifed because we're a baby mama. The level of disrespect is, to me, a direct result of the level of value that we refuse to put on the act of childbirth. For most men, that idea of having legacy, of continuing their bloodline, that is important to them. They want to be able to have children. They want that image of them to be left for the world when they're gone. They want their bloodline to continue. They want that legacy. They want that. And, you know, men are like 80% ego. So the idea of a little them walking around, it just strokes that ego. They want that. And it is up to us as women in our wombs to provide that to them. So imagine if we didn't do that. Imagine if we did not give them that without them first giving us some stuff. Stuff like emotional security, financial security, safe environment, a healthy environment, commitment. Imagine if we required that of them before we would give them this thing that only we can give them. I think that a lot of times, to use your womb to grow a child for a man, then to put your body in extreme pain and literally to put your life in jeopardy to birth this child for a man, to deal with all the things that come after childbirth, whether that's postpartum issues in a mental context or a physical context, all the things that you have to deal with getting your body and your mental health and your psychological health back right after giving birth to their child, and then caring for this child until they're able to care for themselves. That is something that is immeasurable. That is a gift that you cannot put value on. And for men to demean the women who do that for them in the way that DaBaby demeaned Danileigh, I think that we do not put enough value on that. And here's what I mean by that. I think that when we be out here just having babies for these dudes because they said they loved us and the vibe was right, we are trivializing something that is so massive. Think about the way we treat marriage. A man is not even gonna ask you to marry him unless all this criteria has been met. He is going to go above and beyond making sure that you are right, that you are the one, that you are worthy, that his situation is right. Like that is the amount of value that is placed upon marriage. Why aren't we placing the same amount of value on giving a man a child? Imagine if before we would be willing to use our womb to grow his baby, imagine if we required all the things that they require of us before they will give us the commitment of marriage. Imagine if we had that level of stipulation before we would give them a child. If we are choosing not to give the process of giving someone a child value, if we're not giving that value based on the fact that we're just giving babies to, people without them having to meet certain stipulations, it diminishes the value. It automatically diminishes the value. The way that men assign a value to the act of marriage is valuable because they made it valuable by requiring stipulations for them to even consider you for it. I feel like collectively in our culture, if we did the same thing with giving men children, that would force a shift in the way that we treat the women who have these children. It would also put these women who have children for these men in a much better situation to receive better treatment. If you have a level of stipulation that you require from a man before you will be willing to give him a child, if he doesn't meet that, then you don't give him a child. Personally, I am not willing to use my womb to grow anybody's children unless they have committed to me 100% through the context of marriage. If you are not willing to commit to me in the context of marriage, then I am not willing to commit my womb and the rest of my life caring for your offspring. I think that's fair. And I know it's 2021. People don't believe in marriage anymore. Marriage is not important. I will never understand that. And I don't want this video to come off judgy because I don't want to be judgmental with this topic. I think that people are allowed to make whatever decisions fit them best. These are just my opinions and my thoughts. I personally don't understand how you can commit to bringing life into this world and sharing responsibility for raising an entire human being, but you can't commit to a relationship. To me, that is very odd that two people who are in a romantic relationship together will feel like they're not ready to commit to one another in the confines of marriage, but you're ready to bring a whole human being into this world together that you're going to be responsible for until they can be responsible for themselves. You're ready for that, but you're not ready to get to marry one another. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. I saw a very interesting tweet. I forgot the girl's name that posted the tweet, but she's been all over social media with her own little scandalous situation. I'll put it in the video while I'm editing, but she posted a series of tweets where she was basically really just kind of sympathizing with Danileigh's situation. For the most part, I agreed with what she said, except there was one tweet in her little thread of tweets that I heavily side-eyed. And in the tweet, she was saying something to the effect of, nobody signs up to be a baby mom or a single mother, which I agree with. But then she goes on to say something about, save the you should have got a ring conversation because, a ring doesn't guarantee anything. You could still end up being a single mother, something along those lines. Here's the thing. Yes, she is correct. A ring does not guarantee that you're not going to be a single mother. In life, are there any guarantees? Nothing is really guaranteed in life. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. There's nothing that you can just be like, I'm doing this and it's going to guarantee this outcome. You can't really guarantee outcomes in life. That's not how life works. However, I would like for us to stop being facetious when it comes to the idea of having kids in the context of marriage versus having kids with men that we're just dating or just casually sleeping with. I would like for us to stop pretending that the chances of us being left to raise children alone is the same in a situation where you're married versus just sleeping with somebody or just dating them. I would like us to stop pretending that getting married and having kids with your spouse has the same kind of chances of leaving you out here as a single mom as it does by just having a kid with someone you're dating or in a casual relationship with. I think that we know that that's not true. I think that we know that the odds are very different in those two situations. And yes, People get divorced all the time. They do. But I would like us to stop pretending that women who end up raising kids by themselves, that the numbers of those who were married first and who weren't, like, those numbers are similar, because I think we know that they're not. I think what's happening is that single mothers are regularly attacked. That's a fact. People have a lot of judgment to throw in the direction of single mothers, and I empathize with that a lot. I think that, like I said earlier in this video, the way that we treat single mothers in our culture is trash. And I think that because single mothers are so often having to defend themselves from attacks and judgment from people, I think that there are certain things that they just kind of use as a shield against these attacks. And I think this conversation of, well, you could still be a single mother even if you get married first, I think that's just one of those things that is like, you know, I'm being attacked, I'm being judged for having children out of wedlock, here's my defense. And I get it. I get it. If you're a single mom out here trying to raise some kids that you've been left to raise by yourself, and people are judging you and people are attacking you, and this is a defense mechanism for you. This is something that you can say in your defense. And, you know, I think that it's just easy to just say it. But I think that we know that the odds are not the same. I think we know that having a child with someone that we're just dating and is just not truly committed to us in the confines of marriage is way riskier, and that the chances of us ending up raising that child alone are way higher. But in the event of women being attacked on social media and being judged and being insulted, I think that it's just easy to throw that out there as a defense. For me, like I said, I'm not having your kid unless we are married. I don't think that there's anything wrong with choosing not to get married. I think that people are allowed to choose that. I think that everyone has to do what's best for them. For me, I would rather take my chances having a kid with someone that has committed to me under the law. Because at the very least, even if things don't work out, there are certain guarantees, there are certain protections, there's a certain level of care that is going to have to be provided to me and my child under the law. And that makes me more comfortable than having a kid with, you know, this dude that, you know, we got a lot of love for each other and we got good vibes, but if being a father gets too hard, he could just be like, all right, I'm gonna head out. And there's nothing stopping him. There's nothing, you know, I could put him on child support. The state can take some money out of his check every 2 weeks, and that's it. That's all that me and the child that I've had for him will be owed in that situation. For me, that is too risky for me. That's not something that I want to put myself through. And it's not something that I would want to put a child through that I'm bringing into the world either. So, you know, again, I think that everybody's different. Everybody doesn't believe in marriage. Marriage is not important to everybody. Some people are completely against marriage. I get that. But here's my thing. I would like for us to have some sort of criteria, something that these men need to provide to us before we offer up our womb to bring forth life for them. Because I think that if collectively women in our culture did that, the result would be more value placed on bearing children for a man. And that is something that should have so much value. The act of giving someone a child should be so valuable, but we treat it so trivially and like it's nothing. And as a result, the women who do this amazing thing are just discarded and treated like nothing. And I think it's time for us to shift that. I think it's time for us to place value on the act of giving someone a child. And I think that the way we do that is that we have some stipulations. If these men are going to say, I'm not wifing you up until this, that, you got to meet all this criteria before I even consider making you my wife, y'all are going to have to meet that level of criteria before we consider giving you an heir, giving you legacy, giving you a child, bringing forth human life for you. I think that's fair. And I think when we shift to that, situations like what is happening with Danileigh and DaBaby will not be as regular, and it won't happen as much, because the men that we will be choosing to give children to will have to be of a higher quality, because we are making that a requirement. I think that's the solution. But tell me what y'all think. Again, I didn't want this to come off judgy. I'm not judging single mothers. I'm not judging nobody for having children outside of the confines of marriage. I think that the amount of just hate and vitriol that single mothers get from our culture is insane. I think it's gross, and I just want that to change. And I think that collectively this is something that we could do to shift that narrative, because I think until we place the value, they don't want to give us no value. We gonna have to give it to ourselves, and I think this is a solution. So I feel for Danileigh. I hope that her and her kid are okay. I would like to say that, you know, no woman in her right mind should be willing to date a man that would treat the woman who just had his child 3 months ago like that. But that's not true. I think that DaBaby is still gonna be out here. Women are gonna be dating him. Women are gonna be at his shows. Women are gonna be falling all over him, and somebody is gonna sign up to get knocked up by him again, because I think he already has like 5 baby mamas or something like that. I don't know. But it's unfortunate that men who do things like this oftentimes don't have any real repercussions for it. I think that if anybody's career is going to take a hit in this situation, it's probably going to be Danileigh's. I think her career has already taken a hit just off the strength of her child making that crazy ass Yellow Bone song.
Yellow bonus, what do you want? What do you want? Yellow bonus, what do you want?
It's getting weird.
And dealing with him and getting knocked up by him, and she just been messing up ever since she got wrapped up and tangled up with him. She just been messing herself up. But I think that this situation is more likely to hurt her more so than him, even though he is the one that was just, that behavior, it was disgusting. It was disgusting to see. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this. Are y'all like, look, I ain't having your baby until I got a ring on my finger? Yeah, let me know what y'all think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have not watched the Harder They Fall review, go watch it. It's long, but it's good. All right, see y'all next time. Bye.